people were like, this dude. And so what was so great is Keenan Ivory Wayans was like, hey, man, we got to get this dude a shot. Right. You know what I mean? Because they like, man, we want some of that on us. And it kept, on all my business, Shannon, in this town has been repeat business. I mean, the reason I was with all these Sandler movies, Adam Sandler called me. But the thing is, when I did Longest Yard, which was my revenge on the NFL, right? Me and Michael Irvin, the whole movie, I was like, this is the one everybody gonna remember. Like, good God, like, who gets that? Right. You know what I mean? And I remember Chris Rock was like, hey man, he's on the movie, Longest Yard. He said, dude, you're killing. I got something for you. I said, what is it? He said, don't worry about it. I got something for you. I go home, the script for Everybody Hates Chris. It's literally on my doorstep. I open that up. He's like, I want you to play my dad. Because he saw me and my wife and my 2 kids out there in Santa Fe, New Mexico, when we was filming Longest Yard. He was watching. And that's the thing another people, you got to remember, everybody is watching. Everybody is watching. And so then I played Chris's dad. And Everybody Hates Chris for 4 years straight. This man, when I look at my life, man, I just thank God for every opportunity. And now this is another thing, because I'm now reaching the point, because I play with all these guys and they're gone. Now I'm losing actors. Man, Andre Bauer passed away last week. And he took me under his wing, man. You talk about one of the best actors, right, of our generation. I mean, Juilliard trained, absolutely incredible, Emmy Award winning, dramatic beast, right? Brooklyn Nine-Nine, right? Brooklyn Nine-Nine, who was able to come and flip it to a comedy like that. And I was like, man, what is the secret? And he never, this is another thing, he was like a super all-pro who could have looked down on all of us, but decided he was just going to pull us all up with him. 61 years old. He was like my big brother. Right. I look at guys that are dying. When I look at Michael Clark Duncan's gone. Tiny Lister, gone. Lance Reddick, gone. Chadwick Boseman, gone. We did a movie Draft Day together. Okay? And I'm going, man, you don't have forever. You don't. You gotta go for it. You got to get what you have come to get now. And you can't waste time. You can't treat it like, well, I'll whatever. Because I see it in the NFL. And everybody thought, and this is the thing, everybody had determined certain people that already won. Like, I won life,
Knock
he
that
won.
out,
People say,
bro.
he won the internet, whatever. It ain't never over. It's never
Oh my God, knock that out, bro. Like, come on.
And let me tell you, when I'm done, and I'll be honest with you, man, I'm just getting started. I truly, truly feel I have the same energy that I had when I first started. I'm really thankful to be sitting here with you right now. But I admire you for just your transition. You know what I mean? And the energy that you bring. Your passion is palpable. And I'm the same way. I'm 100% passionate. Right. That's all I am. Right. You know what I mean? I don't know no other way. I have no other way. I do everything like I'm getting $1 million. When you sat down for the audition to read with Cat, did you know Cat prior to that? Nope, not at all. And you guys became pretty cool after that. We became amazing friends. And what's so crazy, I used to watch him because we, remember a movie, when you shoot a movie, then you gotta wait 1.5 years for it to come out. Correct. So you can just wait, like people, you're like, man, well, I got this thing coming, they're like, yeah, right, whatever. And you know what's so funny? After Friday After Next, I had to go back doing security. I had to go back, right? Because I didn't have nothing else to turn to. Right. But I knew it was coming, right? And what was so crazy, I was doing commercials and different things, but I would go watch Cat Williams at the Hollywood Park Casino. He had his own room, and this man was the funniest man I ever seen, which was crazy. And then I'll never forget when he started selling out the Universal Amphitheater, and watching them blow up. That's another thing too, to watch people all. It's funny because I see kids that's been on set and now they're superstars. Now, You know, like Tyler James Williams is now a superstar. Right. You know, I've watched people. This is you never know what's going to happen. You know, you look at things and you go, oh my God, this man was. Listen, one great example. We were at the BET Awards, and I saw this little kid walking around with a little hat on, and I was like, hey, I got his mixtape. I said, Kendrick. He said, you know who I am? It's Kendrick Lamar, bro. I said, man, your mixtape through Section 80 is amazing. I said, you are the next. I said, Rebecca, this is Kendrick. He was like, you know who I am? I said, bro. I said, I love you. I said, I think you are going to be the future. And what's so crazy is that he called me a few years later. He ended up doing a video with him. Right. Because he said, remember when you told me you knew who I was? You remember this? You told me I was going to be doing something great. It's not, look, tell me he's not the best in the world right now, and I'm so proud. And the thing is, too, man, there's another thing I had to learn, and that the NFL taught me that I had to unlearn: competing. I decided to never compete with people. This was my problem, because they call it the sin of comparison. Right. When I'm looking at what you got and comparing what I got, it's always going to be a problem. Yeah. Always. Right. Because you're always going to come up short. Yes. Somebody always got more. Right. And then somebody always got less, but you always want more. Right. And I realized, man, that creativity was the exact opposite of competition. Right. If I'm being creative, I'm not competing. So I decided, you know what? Because everybody was like, hey, man, you got to, you got to be like Tiny, you got to be this, you got to blah, blah, blah. I was like, no. I'm going to be me. I'm going to be me. And they was like, yeah, but you're kind of weird. I said, yeah, I am. That's what made me unique. I am. All right. Listen, first of all, you can't even, it got to the point where we read scripture now today, we want a Terry Crews type. Because they know that's just me. Right. And I decided, by just being creative, that was my ticket out of that world of competition. Because this is the thing, man. The league is always, it's like, hey man, you versus so-and-so.
Bro,
First of all, you gotta fight people in your own locker room first. Yeah. Before you even go up against another team, you know what I mean? And then you always being judged, like, well, you missed a step, and did you miss that? You didn't. Right. The coaches would never, they will always tell you what you messed up on. Right. And then, being black, we would go into the locker room, and if you hurt, they act like, you act like you don't want to play. I said, hey, man, first of all, the white kids getting hurt, and they're like, yeah, he's hurt. Right. But I've never, ever treated any black guy I knew in the locker room like he was really hurt. Wow. Like he was trying to cut out on the game. So in other words, you said, I got to unlearn, because it's a jungle mentality, because someone is literally trying to take food off your table. Someone is trying to take a roof from over your kid and your family head to make sure they have one. But once you got to the entertainment space, you're like, I'm not competing against him. Yeah. I mean, what can I do? In my lane. First of all, I didn't go to school to act. Right. I didn't go to Juilliard. Right. You're talking to a dude who ain't supposed to be here. Right. Everything I'm getting I ain't supposed to have. Right. So I'm already behind. Right. You know what I mean? But then I realized, wait a minute, if I just bring what I bring, I'm ahead. You know what I mean? If I bring what only I bring to a project, because you can't do what I do. Right. You know what I mean? And this is one thing that's the magic, and this is what I want to tell every young man is trying to transition out. That's the way it works for everything. You have something that no one else has, but it's up to you to find it. Right. You got to find it. And you don't find it by comparing yourself with everybody else or whatever. You find it by finding out what you want to do. And this is when I had to make the hard realization that, man, maybe football it wasn't for me, but it got me to where I am. Right. And I'm very thankful for it. But let me tell you, I love the game. In fact, I don't even have a team. I just love to play.
Oh, my God.
Sitting here with players, talking about, what we came through. It feels like a fraternity. Right. It feels like something we can therapize each other. Right. You know what I mean? Because we all know it. We all seen it. Right. And we all played those games together. I was there when it was like, ain't no CTE. Sit down. You just weak. Right. I'm like, man, my head hurt. You know what I mean? I'm seeing double. Right. And they're like, man, look, you just weak. I was there when they was telling everybody it wasn't real. Right. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, no, this is real, man. This is real. See, obviously, when you first starting out, you don't make a lot of money. How do you get past? Because everybody thinks that you in the movie, you make $1 million or you make $5 million, and it's in the roles. I mean, you're first starting out. It ain't no big payday. Not at all. Not at all. You get here's your $500. Thank you very much. But that's the thing. I never did it for the money.
Yeah, I heard of Curry.
Remember I told you when we was doing that Friday After Next? Right. I was chasing that feeling of doing something, of going so deep and doing something so well. It was like when I was sweeping those floors. You know what I mean? Once you start that, you chase it, and you realize I could be excellent at this.
I had my comb.
And I chase excellence, and then what I found is that the money will come. Right. That's what's so crazy. But what problem is when you chase money, right? If all of a sudden, because this is the thing, and this is what blew me away. I started to take job off my passion, and what I saw would further what I was trying to do, and I wouldn't take jobs for the money. And I turned down a lot of money-making jobs that was terrible. But there was a lot of things that paid a little bit amount of money, but man, took me to a whole nother level.
Lets me know he
And by
comes out,
doing that,
man.
by not chasing the money, man,
Let's throw Joe back in the game.
It comes, man. The passion will pay for itself. Now, White Chick. That's look. Damien was the next Friday, the Friday After Next was unbelievable. But it was that movie where Terry Crews all of a sudden becomes a household name. Keenan Ivory Wayans, Marlon Wayans, Sean Wayans. I owe them a debt forever. That was one of the best experiences I've ever had in my life. When I say from beginning to end, hanging with them dudes, the freedom that family had, it was like being in the Jacksons, bro. You know what I mean? Like, because listen, I watched In Living Color. When I remember in college, all the way up in Living Color, and the Keenan Ivory Wayans is a legend. Yep. And I'm there, he's like, hey, Terry, hey, man, do whatever you want, man. You killing this, do this. I was like, what? I could do whatever I want, like everything. I said, so I could just, and man, when you hit that level of freedom, and the Wayans, but this is the thing about comedy, is that it opens up. Like, there was, the phrase they say a lot of times is that, the answer is never no. The answer is yes in comedy. Mm-hmm. So if you got a question, the answer is yes. Mm-hmm. I mean, you just keep taking it, and that's what we did. And bruh, I had no idea. By the time we got done, and I remember that premiere, and the producer looked at me, he said, hey man, your life will never, ever be the same. You gotta understand, like I said, I learned my lessons from football. I remember being in that room, singing that song probably 10,000 times by myself. So that when I got on the set, that was one take. I was so ready. I had the head moves in, I had everything, and people were like, we never seen nothing. Because you gotta understand too, and the rules in comedy at the time were muscles never funny. Right. That's not funny. You gotta be rude. You gotta be, And everybody was trying to tell me to take karate lessons because you had to be, be an action star. I was like, no, I want to be funny. I think I can make people laugh. And they were like, well, but muscle's not funny. You're too big. You gotta get fat. You gotta get chubby. I was like, nope. I'm gonna do everything I'm doing. And I remember resisting what everybody was saying. And people were looking at me like, I've never seen a funny big dude before. You know what I mean? And it changed the game. Did you know when you're shooting that movie and when you rap, did you realize that we got a classic, we got a hit, we have something that's going to stand the test of time? No, it's bird jokes. No. I'm sitting there, I'm like, man, if the kids laugh, I'm like, hey, great. Right. No. But now, people are coming back like, that's class. Man, listen, my daughter, okay, she was a baby. My daughter is now 20 years old in college. She goes to college in San Diego. They sat over the summer sitting there watching White Chicks. She didn't say anything. She's like, "That's my dad." Like, she was a baby when it was came out.
Shit,
She's in college, like, and all her friends are sitting on the rooftop watching White Chicks. The whole school cracking up. I'm like, we didn't know. We didn't know, but that's the power of going all out, because they outlast you. You know what I'm saying? Yes. The legacy outlasts you. Go all out. You do not get another shot.
Yeah, this was
You see what I mean? Like, really enjoy. Don't, because this is the thing too, man. I used to be a complainer. I used to be one of them cats. Oh, well, if it ain't perfect, and man, that's the thing. When I started to realize, man, what opportunities we have, we gotta take it, right? And I'm just so thankful right now. I'm just like, and you know, just to go on to have this kind of career. Now, I gotta even flip it to AGT, because I told my agent and manager, I said, look, use me as a guinea pig. I said, where you would typically see me, don't give me those roles. Give me the roles that you would say, there's no way they were gonna hire him. And I said, that's what I want. And they were like, Terry, that's a hard road. I said, yep, I'm gonna take the hard road. And I'll never forget, there was Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, which was a daytime version of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. And Cedric the Entertainer didn't want to come back. He was like moving on. And they said, Terry, they're talking, this is open. I said, give it to me. I said, let me go in, let me audition, let me take it. Because I knew if I learned how to host, right, if I learned how to get in front of that camera and show my personality and talk to people and interview people, that could be a change. That's a whole nother revenue stream. That's a whole nother level of passion, right? So, but it was horrible. Listen, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, the daytime version, nobody watching, okay? I did 360 episodes of that while I was doing Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and people were like, why are you doing this? I would go back on set, they were like, dude, there's no one watching this. It's crazy. Then I did another show called World's Funniest Fails, and it was like terrible. And nobody was watching it. And I was like, oh, it was on Fox. It was one of them silly shows.
My D Rogers ran to my goddamn crosser.
Dude,
all
of a sudden,
type of
they got
crazy
spin off
shit.
for AGT, and I get my shot.
Let's add a little polish. I say a lot. Now make me sound professional as Hi team, I'm Sunny D.
I said, and now it's the biggest talent show in the whole world, right? And I've been doing it strong, going on 6 years. All the iterations. We got a brand new fantasy league coming out. We got the regular AGT's #1 show of the summer. And wait, and you gotta understand, I ain't a host. I'm not that guy. I came in this thing, but I said, God, give me the strength to learn new skills. And let me stay open. And I will stay humble, and I will learn this thing. You know what I'm saying? It was a lot, man, but I say, thank God right now, because now I can go 2 or 3 ways. Right? I'm looking at you at White Chick and some of the lines. Did you just come up with these lines, or were they written? It's like, once you go black, you're going to need a wheelchair. That was written. so how much leeway did they give? Oh, no, it was a lot.
They gotta let me peek it,
like the dancing, they probably let
you
you. Oh, yeah, that was all me. That was all it. The dancing.
Damn, bro.
But you understand, a lot of this stuff was like the stuff between me and Marlon. It was like, ooh, you sure can't put it away. I mean, that's me. Right. This stuff, but they let you do it. Right. And then the editor comes in, they'll worry about the rest later. But dude, we were coming up with stuff off the head. They were coming up with stuff they had no idea. And we had no idea, but we just knew. We said, man, we had such a blast doing that movie. Same thing with Longest Yard. You had the wrestlers, you had the comedians, you had the football players. I mean, you had all that together, and you had a classic movie. Where I grew up watching the Burt Reynolds version, the first one. And you're like, man, this is one reason why I even tried playing football in the first place. You're like, and dude, that's what, to me, all I can say is that I've been given more opportunities. I must rephrase that. I seized more opportunities. Mm-hmm. Because this is the thing. People give you charity. Opportunities aren't really given, right? you see some, like, you grab it. It's like hunting. It's like sitting in the forest and then they're watching, and all of a sudden you see something that you want, and you see it,
That shit real
and then you
motherfucker.
go up to it and it'll run away.
Sack fumble,
But you
man.
gotta grab it. And I remember just grabbing every little scene, every little thing. I'll never forget getting the opportunity on Expendables. Here I am, man. Sylvester Stallone, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Bruce Willis, me. And wait, I wasn't the first pick. It was supposed to be Wesley Snipes. But Wesley had got down on all that tax stuff, and then they went to Forrest Whitaker, and he couldn't do it. And then they said, oh, well, we got this guy, Terry Crews. I was like, I'm here. Yo, I take it. Hey, man, I didn't look at that as down. Most of my stuff has been like, man, somebody dropped out, I'm taking it, seizing it. And dude, here I am in the Expendables movie, and Sly give me that tunnel scene. I'm blowing people away, boom, 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 coming through that tunnel, and people flipping them up. They in the theater jumping up. And I'm going, who gets this? Who gets this? Like, to make people laugh, to make people jump, to make people... I've been given more moments than probably any other actor that I know I work with. This cat's been on TV 20 years, don't get those kind of moments. You know what I mean? And that's where I'm like, man, and this is where, again, though, had I not been through all that stuff in the NFL, I wouldn't have learned what it took. You understand what I'm saying? I wouldn't. I probably would have got complacent. Probably would have been like, yeah, it's automatic, and yeah, that's pretty. I've seen people get there like, yeah, I should have had that yesterday. But I never feel that way, man. I'm always, especially now that we're losing people, especially now.
Being on the set of White Chicks, you get an opportunity you mentioned earlier to work around Keenan Ivory Wayans, and you saw what he did with In Living Color. Did you really get an opportunity to see his comedic genius? Because you look at In Living Color, I don't know if we're ever going to see anything like that again.
Never.
And it gave birth to so many great, the Jamie Foxx, the David Allen Greer, the Tommy Davidson, the Jim Carreys,
Yes.
the Wayans brothers. I mean, there's so many people that launched their careers and became what they became.
Jennifer Lopez.
J-Lo became what she became from that. Did you get a sense like, man, this dude is a genius?
Yes, but this is the thing you gotta understand. The same thing about the NFL. When I walked in the locker room in the NFL, they don't want you going, oh, you so-and-so. You gotta hit him. No, you know what I mean? Like, in the league, you realize, wait a minute, man, if I don't hit you, listen, you on the offensive side of the ball. If I was opposite of you, you don't want me going, oh, man, you sharing the shirt. You run me over. You want a challenge.
Right.
You want, pow, I'm coming at you, boom, boom, boom. And that's exactly what these actors want. That's exactly what these comedians want. They don't want you to come in there, oh, look. Man, Sly Stallone was looking like, I want you to bring that heat when you come. We look at me like I did Denzel and Training Day. They don't want me to be like, oh, wow, you Denzel. They want me looking at him like I'll kill him if he step out of line.
Right.
Because that's where everything is. Nobody wants it. Nobody wants you to lob. You know what I mean? They want you to throw it for real. And that's exactly what the way Keenan.
They
were playing for Keenan. This is another thing. It's one reason why you can't do White Chicks too, because comedy's dangerous.
Oh yeah.
It's dangerous.
We're a different time now. You're definitely a different time now. But how have you been able to still sing? You've been in Malibu's Most Wanted. You've been in Deliverance from Eva. You've been in Soul Plane. How? Because it's not like it's written that you're the star of the movie, but you always find a way to steal a scene. And man, you remember when T. Cruz was singing, man, he's out there on the floor and he drunk that drink and he out there dancing. You're always able to steal a scene, even though the movie isn't written around you.
Passion. I serve the actors. I serve the script. I serve the audience.
Man.
And it's never about me. And anytime you see a movie and you're bored, it's about that dude on the screen. I've watched stuff and you're like, oh, man, this dude, the cat's mailing in. How good am I going to look now? I'm turning to the left and I'm turning to the right. You're like, oh, man, whatever. But when I'm serving Because this is the key. This is what I had to tell my son.
Escape the mundane with Philo. A better way to experience your favorite reality shows on over 70 plus channels, live and on demand for just $25 a month. Whether you like looking for love in interesting places, hunting for hidden treasures, indulging your taste for something new,
Welcome to Flavor Town.
or putting your skills to the test, Philo's got the getaway you need at a great price. Sign up today.
Even about money, I said, you want to make money? The key to making money is serving the most amount of people. The more people you serve, the more money you make. Straight up. I said, look, people always say, athletes make so much money. Doctors should make more money than athletes. But I'm like, wait, how many patients you got? How many patients you got? The doctor got 30 patients. Well, you got 30 patient money. But how many people are enjoying watching LeBron play? True. Hundreds of millions. So he gets hundreds of millions of dollars. I said, dude, don't ever get it twisted. You serve more people, you get more props, you get more money. And I decided I was going to serve more people in everything I did. I remember doing Malibu's Most Wanted. And I remember being on the set. And I said, I'm going to play this character. His name is 8 Ball, but I'm going to play him like he's real. And I started doing stuff, and the director was like, hey, put the camera on that dude right there. And this is the thing. And this is really tricky, and I gotta let everybody know this.
Well, hype the fucking ball.
Because people go, he's showing out. Why you trying to make us look bad? You know how many times I heard that? People always was like, oh, Mr. Overdo it. Oh, well, you gonna sweep the whole place. Wow. Okay, Mr. And see, and that's what you gotta resist. That's what you gotta resist. I found a long time ago, like, whatever God says about you, and if you repeat it, it sounds very narcissistic. But whatever Satan says about you, and you repeat it, it sounds very realistic. And you have to decide, whoa, am I going to be real? Or am I going to do what God said? Like, do everything I can. And this is a tricky thing, because you get tricked into it. You get oh yeah, you showing out, yeah. But I realized, no, the best thing I can do for the whole world is to make the most every cruise. Best thing I can do for everybody is work out 2 hours a day.
No.
That's it. Because all I do is work on me. Best thing I can do for everybody on that set, study my lines. Know what I'm doing. Be prepared. Be ready. Always focused. The best thing. And all of a sudden, nobody got to worry about you. Nobody worry about you. That's the thing. And back in the NFL, they had to worry about me a little bit. But that's the lesson I learned. I said, no, you ain't never got to worry about me. I'm coming. I'm watching. I'm seeing. And I'm focused. And it's fun. And then all of a sudden, you can have fun.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But, boy, just warning, that when you do that, and that's one thing, too, I had to move on because I had to realize, I had a message on my message machine. I said, hey, this is Terry Crews. I'm taking it to the next level, and I'm not going back. Leave a message. And all the people who was like, where you going? Where you going? Oh, okay. Oh, not. Them the guys didn't get my new number. Because I realized, I said, man, I need a new circle. And the circle that will get me there has got to be the ones that are happy I'm getting moved up to. You know what I mean? And anybody that got crazy, I mean, it's funny because me and my father had a lot of issues, man. I mean, again, he used to beat my mom, he used to do all this crazy stuff. And then he'd call me up before I get on AGT and cuss me out. You ain't nothing, and I remember just going.
Was he drinking?
Yeah.
And so he got like this when he was drinking.
Yeah, that's it. I mean,
is that why you don't drink?
That's why I don't drink.
Bro, like, man,
What my father
he
did,
is playing that, bro. Like, come
that's the earliest
on.
memory, man, watching Knock Mama Out.
So he calls you up before you go on AGTV, and he's saying, what's he saying to us?
Bro, that is bad. I don't even know what happened right there.
I don't know.
How the fuck do you get cooked on?
It's one of the things where you think you did stuff, you did it, and I'm going, wow. And it got to a time where I actually had to change my number and I actually the only way I would communicate with him was through someone else. Just is he all right? Okay, cool. But that stuff deep, man. And it was easier to get rid of friends that way, where you go, hey, I can move on. Or so-called friends, you realize that's not a friend anymore. But it's a whole other thing when it's like your father. Right. And my mom passed away a few years ago. So now it's just him. But it's one of those things where I realize what it is. It's okay. He's jealous. He's angry. But that's okay.
Have you and he always had this contentious relationship?
Yeah.
Your earliest memories?
Earliest. I remember, we were driving. He was driving me, picked me up from practice, because he didn't want to pick me up from practice. He said, like, oh man, I'm wasting my time. I got to do this. Because he liked sports. And he said, I said, man, I'm going to make it in the NFL. He said, only 1 in a million make it in the NFL. Only 1 in a million. I said, I'm 1 in a million. I looked up there in the car. I probably was 12. I said, I'm 1 in a million. You gotta say, I'll never forget this. These are moments make me who I am. And I said, man. And I remember those conversations. And I know that.
My bad, Joe. Oh God, I ain't
tell,
mean to run with you right there.
I am 1 in a million.
As you've gotten older, have you ever tried to sit down and have a conversation with your father? Have you ever guys have thought about going to therapy together and try to get to the root? You're 55. I understand you have a very contentious relationship, but you only get one.
Yeah.
And I know sometimes you probably think you don't miss him because you have the opportunity to pick up the phone and call him. But T, there might be one day that you don't have an opportunity to talk to him.
I know. And, that might be, I'll be honest with you, man, that might be the reason we sitting here today. Just talking about this is making me realize we got to find a way to make this work. Yeah. We got to find a way. I mean, and it's wild because I tried. I call, and then, you find out he's drinking, because he'll lie. I ain't drinking, and then you kind of...
But you know all the time that he is drinking.
All the time, you know what I mean? Everything. Because he's a whole different person when he's not.
Right.
So...
Do you have brothers and sisters?
Yes, I have an older brother, a younger sister, and there's the guys that I was going in between.
What's their relationship like with your father? Or is it just you?
No, it's
everybody.
I mean, yeah, because again...
But like you said,
everybody was drinking. Everybody was there when he was beating my mother. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So it makes it very, very difficult. And when she passed, that was a really, really hard time. Because that's the thing, man. It's almost like, why didn't it should have been you. You beating her, and she just internalized and all that. She got sick, and that was it. And it's like, man, but it's one of those things. I think if he was willing, and we just got to find out if he would be willing. I have to find out if he'd be willing to do that, so we can all sit down together.
Yeah, have you ever had a conversation with him like, Dad, why you treat Mom like this? Why did you do some of the things that you did?
You're talking to a person who would literally be like, this is one thing he says, I didn't beat her that bad.
That bad?
Man.
Bruh, when you're talking those kind of words, you're like, man, what are you saying? I didn't beat her that bad. You're talking to their son. And he's never been able to acknowledge that. And what happens is, this is a problem, man. Listen, and this is one thing I realized, that if you don't deal with these things early, or where you're at, they harden. Mm-hmm. The Bible talks about hardening your heart. And there's a point where you feel like, I'm good no matter what. And I never wanted to get like that. You gotta understand, man, I had to revamp my whole relationship with my own wife. 20 years in, I had to admit I had been unfaithful to her. You know how wonderful, I'm telling you, all the stuff, the great stuff she did, the whole thing, that still wasn't enough for me to be faithful. And I had to turn.
When you was at your lowest, she was there.
You see? And I went, man. And I had to go because I was going to turn, it was going to be his whole hardening of my heart. And finally realize, well, you know, it was you. Because you got to understand, when you're in that mindset, it's like, it's always somebody else. It's always somebody else's problem. Hey, not me, I'm good. And I'll never forget, I felt like we was going to break up. We had just celebrated our 20th anniversary. We're on 34 now. Wow. But I said, I don't think we're going to make it. But the thing is, there were things I never told her. You know, there were secrets that I was holding, stuff that I had done that I never said nothing about.
That she didn't know about.
She didn't know, but she suspected. You know, they know. Yeah, she's like, And finally, she said, this thing, man, this is what got me. She got me. She said, what is it I don't know about you, Terry Crews? And you know, sometimes you pop a spring. And she could have said that any other day and it wouldn't have done it. And it went, and I said, tell her. I said, you don't tell her. It's almost like God told me, he said, I'll never be with you again if you don't say that.
Did you feel like if you didn't tell her at that moment, and she'd have found out everything on her own, it'd have been a whole different ball game.
Whole different ball game. Oh, easy. Well, that's the thing, man. Look, it's, how does it work in the court? First of all, you turn yourself in. If you admit guilt, you get the leniency of the court. But if they catch you,
right?
If you talk about
the drive, you got to get the full, you got to get the harshest sentence.
Oh, bam! That gavel come down hard. And I said, this is what happened.
Obviously, as you're explaining, you're telling her some of the transgressions that you had that she didn't know she suspected. And I'm sure there are tears starting to flow. And that's starting to break your heart because she was there when no one else was. She knew you at your lowest, and she picked you up so you could be at your highest. And now you got to tell her, baby, I'm not the man that you thought I was.
Hey, man, there ain't no kind of pain than hurting the one who loves you the most. That's a whole nother level of pain. I mean, you can be kind of cruel to people you don't really care about. Or
Outlaws,
damn it, this
Two
and I look at my wife.